Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Just gotta breathe. Just gotta breathe. Breathe it out, guys. Breathe it out. I asked what our conversation was going to be about, and what I heard is 1111 portal light code transmission. So we're going to be receiving a transmission. Hopefully it's good. That's all I got to say. Hopefully it's good. Okay. I'm going to be using different cards for today. All righty. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Oh, I'm going to be going live later today for the 1111 portal, right? I'm going to be going live to do a fire ceremony, and I'll take a nap. I don't know about you guys. A nap sounds really good right now. It sounds really, really good. We shall see. We shall see. And then I'm told I don't usually use this deck, so I don't. Let's see what happens. let's see. Let us see. What other deck, my dear? What other deck? Marlene. Marlene is here. She says hello. It's been quite some time since she's been here, so I'll be nice. Michael says your face. There's nothing wrong with my face, okay? It's made to make faces. This deck. Oh, okay. Not that deck. This deck. All right, we're almost ready, guys. Almost ready. You left me a message at the end of our chat last Saturday. Oh. You know I don't rewatch the videos, right? I don't rewatch it, but message me. Message me your message. Message me. My brain cannot focus long enough to rewatch stuff. All right, let's get started. So 1111 portal light code transmission. Okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna see how we're going to correct all of this. Okay. All right. I mean, this is not bad. This is definitely not bad, but it's kind of like a continuation of some of the cock-a-doodle-doo. It's kind of like a continuation of some of the cock-a-doodle-doo that we have had going on for the last several months. It's been months at this point. So there were things that happened maybe 2 months ago, right? 2 months ago, and then it kind of, I wouldn't say that the dark message resolved. I would say that for many of us, I know for me for sure, I kind of was just like, well, you know what? It is what it is, and whatever. It is what it is, and whatever. You know, it is what it is, and whatever. So now the message is circling back around. This message that's circling back around has to do with mirrors yet again. Mirrors being used to try and gain entry, gain access to hinder your process of awakening. Things can try all they want. I've given you, my community, all sorts of different tips and tricks that you could use to seal off your spaces. Those of you who went to the baneful correction, baneful protection workshop, you guys have all of the different things that you could possibly need to protect your space. Give me 1 second. I don't have it on here. Okay, so what I could do is this. I'm going to add a link here. Sorry, guys. That's how I deal with my stress. I'm not really stressed, but you know, painful. Okay. All right. Um so there's limited supply, just so y'all know. There's limited supply, okay? This is some of the extra extra items that I did for the kits that were made. Ugh. Okay, guys. I'm trying to keep my brain focused because I mean, well, had you told me in advance that this is what you were gonna tell me to do, then okay. Mm, okay. So let's see. Okay, I don't. Well, you know what? We're not even gonna add a picture. Let's just. It is what it is. There you go. Painful protection. Um. All right. There. Here we go. So if you'll need a little extra um to make words to the black salt that I made, these are things that you really can't buy anywhere else because I custom create these things from my personal apothecary. I have a robust personal apothecary. So there's dream pillows. If you're having all of these nightmares and weird ass dream stuff, you're being accessed in your sleep. There's little dream pillows that you can make. Cleansing baths that you can take. These are not meant to like be luxurious stuff. They're made for a specific magical purpose to defend you, to protect you, to cleanse you. Okay? So, you guys want to look at that, you go right ahead. Um carrying forward. So, whatever this is that's attempting, they're trying to cloak again. For those of you who went to the Secured Spaces workshop, or not workshop, but live event, we collapsed all of those, right? Rapid portal collapse, removal of all those anchors, and, yada, yada, yada. So, those who went, y'all should still be good. Y'all should still be good. Don't let anything into your home. There's an attempt, there's a desire to access to, all of that stuff. Just secure your spaces. That's the message. Secure your spaces. You need to step into your position of power. You need to start making these like, you know, sovereign edicts where it's like, this is the new law of my house, of my energy. This is law. You cannot break this spiritual law. You have to. You have to. Or don't. It's up to you. But I'm just saying, I'm not letting nothing in. I'm telling you that much right now. Hell no. Hell no. Yeah. I'll even make a fucking song about it. Ain't nothing is allowed in. And there's consequences. There's consequences. What I would highly recommend, that salt on that link. That's some good stuff right there. That salt. I would recommend that. It's not just salt. It contains a whole bunch of different things in there. That is what you would categorize as which is black salt. It's like creating a boundary line that exists as a void. Anything that tries to cross that boundary line enters into a void and is stuck there. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So there's a lot of things that are going to attempt to have this um, attempt to incept thoughts, right? And that thought inception attempt, it's going to try and get you all like discombobulated within yourself. Don't let that happen. You need to trust your intuition. You need to trust your intuition. Your intuition is going to tell you something about someone, something. I don't know what. But there will be attempts to try and convince you that you're crazy. Either you're doing this to yourself, or there's going to be someone who's already been breached, who's going to be conveniently positioned somewhere in your life to try and convince you like, "Oh no, you shouldn't believe this, you shouldn't believe that." Hey, babe, if it's coming from you, you should absolutely believe it. You should absolutely take it seriously and take the appropriate measures, right? So, what do I mean? Okay, well, if something in your intuition is telling you that there's someone in your life that has malicious, malignant intentions towards you, right? Maybe approach that with, a couple grains of discernment and caution. And rather than being accusatory, because really that's not going to fix anything, I would instead really pay attention. What do I mean by that? Well, have their actions, whoever it is that your intuition is telling you has malicious intentions towards you, have their actions been really questionable as of late, especially towards you? If it hasn't, well, then maybe what you need to do is simply err on the side of caution and start using some protective boundaries, right? Being a little less accessible to people who you don't know what their intentions are with you. That's not being paranoid. That's being very, very careful. The last thing you need to do is start accusing people of things if you can't prove that they're doing things. But just because you're not going to accuse people of things, that doesn't mean you now have to completely ignore your intuitive guidance, intuitive urge to start shoring up your defenses. You need to start. Oh, you know what? Totally off topic. You remember this plant? How it keeps waving at people while I'm live? Do you remember that? I figured out why it's been waving. I've been such a bad plant mommy. I've been so fixated on certain work things that I've been so just totally engrossed in some work stuff, some projects. And I haven't watered any of my plants in this office for like a week. He was thirsty. He's like, "Mom, mom, if you could please get me a glass of filtered water, please." So they've all drank. I don't anticipate him to wave at anyone at this point. He's like, "Hello, I'm thirsty, ma'am. I'm thirsty." I figured it out finally. Yes. So, okay, back on track. It's not an all or nothing. It's not an all or nothing. Okay. It's not this thing of if the person that you're assuming is doing something, isn't doing anything, then you're completely wrong. Um, it's not an all or nothing. Okay. It's don't enter into that space of paranoia. Not encouraging you to do that. Don't enter into that space of accusatory behavior because that just kind of sucks. You know what I mean? But do listen to your intuition. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Your soul, hi Iris. Your soul doesn't want to like set you up for, foolery or anything like that. Your soul's trying to help prevent it. Now, there's a thawing that's happening. I don't know if the thawing is happening for you or like your emotions towards someone, towards something, or if someone, something is having their icy cold view of you begin to thaw. There is a thawing out that's happening. It could also mean that Antarctica is starting to melt. Ooh. Oh, Lord. Mm. So I'm not allowed to talk about that right now. Um, what portion can I talk about? So there is a need for some of you to be aware that as things continue to progress, there are already some energetic, ethereal, celestial, extraterrestrial, intraterrestrial safety measures that have been implemented. Okay. Um, I can't talk about it too much in depth, but I'm allowed to make a statement of the Antichristus has already been announced. It's already been announced publicly, worldwide. So things are being pushed forward. Um, for those of you in the sanctuary, you know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Um, just shh. Shh. Okay. So, is there something to be afraid of? No. Is there something we need to be aware of? Yes. You need to begin really shoring up your energetic defenses. You need to begin really thinking critically, right? Free thinking is very, very good. Free thinking is very, very, very good. Um, and really just tapping into your magic, tapping into your personal power. That's super necessary. That is super de duper, de duper, de duper necessary. Now, for those of us who are here as, what would be an appropriate label that is kind of removed from a space of ego? Um, Way showers. Right? Way showers. For those of us who are supposed to function as way showers for the other people who are in our local region, you're going to find that you're kind of withdrawing, you're kind of pulling back your energy quite a bit. That's okay. You're allowed to kind of pull back. You're allowed to conserve your energy, conserve your focus, because there's going to be a lot of maneuvering that's going to take place, and this maneuvering that's going to be taking place is definitely something that you need to have the energetic reserves for. This is why you're absolutely being instructed by your soul to start creating these definitive boundaries that other things, other people are not allowed to cross, right? Knowing part of having a boundary is knowing when there's a need to engage and when engagement is not necessary. It's one of those things. It's one of those things, right? For example, today I went to the gym and there's this girl that she's been going to the gym quite a bit. I've seen her for quite some time now. And I'm over here looking like, you go, girl. um, I could tell by the way that her physique is that she has lost tremendous amounts of weight, which, like I said, you go, girl, right? That's a good thing. That should be celebrated. It looks like it's been lost in a very healthy way. I don't have any critiques of anything. Well, for the last, I think, like several weeks at this point, I have been noticing that she kind of looks at me and then she looks away, and it's just a weird kind of vibe, which that's not my problem. It's like, you know, when I work out, I'm in my own little world. I'm in my own little world. And today Like, everyone at the gym knows that when I go to work out, there's a specific area where I pretty much live there while I'm at the gym, which I have to share with everyone. Everyone pays to go to that gym. Everyone pays to go to that gym, like, duh, right? So, I did I did the part that I have to do on the Smith machines, and then I was gonna transfer over to the cables where I usually end up living. Um, and she was doing quite a few different exercises on one of the cables. I needed both for both arms. Um, and so I set up on one side, and I wasn't gonna ask her if she was done or how much longer because I'm supposed to wait. She's using it. Right? And it became a thing of I was patiently waiting, just doing a couple other exercises, one-handed on the side that wasn't being used. And I began to sense a really shitty energy, like a really shitty energy. And I'm like, is that directed at me? I was like, I'm just gonna keep minding my business. Clearly, she's not yet done. She's using several machines, which she's doing supersets. Good for her. Good for her. That's a really good way to um, really boost up your hypertrophy efforts. It's a really good way. At which point I went to the other side. I went to the other side because I realized she's gonna be on this for a while. And here's the thing: I'm very good at reading people. I'm very good at reading people. Um, she seemed to be irritated with me. Haven't even interacted with you. I'm nodding your way. So you're going through something, has nothing to do with me. It's being projected at me. Do I need to engage you? Not at all. I went to the other side, worked out there, and then I went back to where I was working out. And basically I'm kind of just going around her. And and that's that on my end, you know? That's that on my end. There was nothing I needed to engage at all. At all. If you wanna be competitive with me and that's what's gonna help you to, like, push and lift heavier and go beyond your, you know, personal best, by all means. Am I competing with you? Not at all. Am I offended? Not at all. I was very productive today. See what I mean? A boundary must be controlled by you. If you're going to allow something outside of you to trigger you and make you feel as though someone encroaching on your boundary or um, considering encroaching on your boundary is something that's going to get you all riled up, you've given your power away. The fact of the matter is this: I'm going to keep going to this gym, and I'm going to keep going at the times that I go. And if you have an issue with seeing my face or seeing me work out, you're going to have to go to a different gym. There's nothing for me to address. We all have to wait our turn for equipment if it's being used. And that's that. Am I going to get upset? There's nothing to be upset about. This is how you conserve your energy. Conserve your energy for the things that actually matter, the things that you actually have to address. So, this thing of incubation, does the chick waste its energy trying to burst through that egg before it's ready to come out into the world? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It stays in that space of incubation until everything that needs to happen happens. I will not be wasting my energy on things, right? If she wants to tell me, I'm sorry, I'm using this, no problem. I'll scoot over to the next one. No problem. You can have this after I finish my set. and I'll scoot over to the next one. I'll do my other exercises. I'm not opposed to sharing things, right? If you give something else your power by allowing that something outside of you to rock you and yank you from your space of centeredness, you've given your power away. For all I know, this lady is a lovely lady and she was just feeling very intense. Maybe too much creatine. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. It's not my concern. It's not my business. I'm going to simply continue to focus on what it is I am doing, pushing myself, driving myself. This is a period. This period we're entering into, this is a period where there's a lot of, I don't know if the word encouragement is the appropriate word, instigation. There's a lot of attempts to instigate conflict between you and someone else. Is it necessary? Because if it's not, why would you give in to that? If it's not necessary, why would you give in to that? Right? Why? So this morning I've been noticing that, like a lot of these little low grade, low key attempts to get me into a space of thinking like, oh, that person's mad at me. This person has it against me. That person's this. No, none of that's my business. None of that is my business. Okay. Stay centered in your space of true power. When you know you have to do something, then you have to do something. Okay. You are being guidance. You are being given guidance. You are being given a type of guidance that only you can understand. I don't even know what the guidance is for you. I know what it is for me, right? I know what it is for me. I don't know what it is for you. We can be given the same set of instructions at the same time and have it mean something completely different for each of us. Now is a time for you to really go into your space of power. Power. All right. Yep. So your soul has a plan for you already. Ooh. Oh, okay. I like this. I like this. I like this a lot. So look, don't betray yourself. And the one way that you can very much betray yourself is by giving your power and your authority to someone else by way of allowing them to trigger you when you don't need to be triggered. You No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right? Absolutely not. If you're feeling aggressive, if you're feeling frustration, if you're feeling your energy is building up, accumulating, and you don't know what to do with it, find something productive. You know what happened after I was done with my workout? So it was that whole thing, the tension that was building from that individual, which again, I'm over here in the mindset of, I'm probably assuming you probably don't have a problem with me because I don't have a problem with you. Nothing's occurred between us for us to have any type of problem with each other. But I could feel the energy, right? I could feel it building and building and building. So going back to when we first arrived, they're talking about in the front, the workers were talking about push ups, that there are people who are saying they can do 20 push ups. Oh no, 40 push ups. No, 50. I don't know. I don't know how many push ups. I was just like, I don't know that I could do all that. Right. So my husband was finishing up and I was waiting for him and I start talking to the worker in the front. And I was like, that's not fair. That's not fair that you guys are going to have that question of push-ups because I got at least 30 pounds of boobs that I have to deal with that everyone else doesn't have to deal with. Like, how about legs. I could do leg lifts. Like just lifting my legs, dangling, lifting my legs. I'm like, it's all muscle, I don't have that extra 30 pounds that I got to deal with. And she's cracking up. It's the manager. And then I was like, before we left, no, because she goes, no, I seen the way you work out your legs. Mm-mm. I was like, she goes, no, I seen you, girl. I've watched you. Um, but as we were leaving, I was like, can I make a suggestion? Can we do a little competition? Let's see who can leg press the most at this gym, the most weight, the most reps, the most sets. And let's also do deadlifts. And she's like, yeah, because I think she's competitive too, the manager. And I was like, fuck yeah. So now, not only is that suggestion going to address my drive to compete, which I don't like to compete with other people, but if it's something like that, that's a healthy thing, right? So I can address that. That will burn up all of my frustration. And the only reason I feel frustration is because I feel an uptick of energy that I'm not sure what I'm supposed to use it for. Sometimes that's why you feel frustrated, right? And then on top of that, that's going to add to my weekly load that I have to lift. So it's all good stuff. Find a productive way to move through this period. Don't betray yourself by giving in to the urge to do things and participate in situations that don't honor your needs. It doesn't honor what you're trying to do. There's going to be a lot of attempts to really sabotage your efforts. There's going to be attempts to try and get you to not receive whatever it is that's meant for you. You need to be aware of what this is doing, the intention of this. This awareness needs to be focused at the attempts to get you into a space of self-sabotage. Do not sabotage your efforts. Do not sabotage everything that you have worked so hard for. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So this period is going to span for the next 3 weeks is what I'm getting. It's going to span for the next 3 weeks as we approach 2025. There are going to be some things that are going to be put into play. That set of circumstance, there is a power and wealth transfer that's already being primed. If you know what to look for, you will be part of that in the most potent way possible. You won't need to worry about being renewed. You won't need to worry about anything. There is a power and wealth transfer that is already being primed. It will be initiated in 2025. It will be initiated in 2025. I kind of got an inkling that some of the things that I had said, mentioned back like 3 years ago, it's go time. I love it. I love it. So, for those of us who are here as way showers, as maybe like guardians, here to facilitate other people's process, no one is here to save anyone else. No one is here to save anyone else. Okay, just first and foremost. We're here to help, to facilitate, to assist. That's it. That's it. That's it. So for those of us who are in that position, we're playing that role. You're being given protection of the highest kind because there's a very upside down, dark energy. Dark as in malignant, wickedness, evil. And it's going to try and interfere in your own process. No, that's all I got to say about that. No, I'm not going to agree to that. I'm not going to allow that. No, I'm absolutely not. No. That's all you have to do, and actually mean it. You have to be the type of person, have the type of mindset where when you say something, you mean it all the way through. Because if there's room to try and coerce you, manipulate you into entering into a space of wishy washiness, like, well, I don't know, maybe. Did you already say yes? Then it's yes. Did you already say no? Then it's no. There's no maybe. We'll see. I'm not sure. Decide and stick with it. Decide and stick with it. Do you guys feel that right now? So, something is trying to change the trajectory of your journey. Um, it's trying to change it in such a way where your energy will be depleted and then you'll come crashing back down. This is part of your ascension mechanics. We're in a rapid frequency accretion cycle. So basically, the harmonics are this is bad. I just got a notification. You can leave that alone. Um, it's spam. It's a spam notification. It's not for me and my personal circumstance, but it's confirmation. It's definitely confirmation. It's talking about going from a matriarchal system full into a patriarchal system. It's talking about the shift from nurturing to full warrior. Um, all I'm allowed to say is that the Antichristos has already been announced and introduced. That's all I can say. If you want to know who, I cannot. I cannot. There's a lot of Hegelian dialectic that's been played. There's a lot of like really very calculated, very calculated maneuverings that have been taking place over the past how many years. This is several years in the making. Several years in the making. Um, problem solution implementation, Hegelian dialectic. You create a problem, you offer a solution, but this, they needed to ensure that this would be embraced. And so the solution that was offered was absolutely withheld, pulled back, dangle, dangle, dangle. And everyone is like, we need that, right? Now they're going to implement it. And I'm just going to stay out of that convo. Thank you for the reminder, Lindsay. I'll be going live later today for the 11/11 portal fire ceremony. Um, I highly recommend you guys look at the Lemurian dark war armor. Okay. There's also um, anchor activations or clearings would be the better word. That specific activation will clear out any potential anchors for those who missed, excuse me, the opportunity to be part of the secured spaces event. Um, I've made a few things available. Alrighty, so I'll be going live later today if you guys want to get some of the work. But there's something that's trying to change the trajectory of your soul journey. You need to make sure that you double down on what you know you need to do. Whatever it is you need to do, you need to make sure that you absolutely double down. Double down. Remove any opportunities that others have to continue to access you and drain your energy. So, example of this, having an issue with my mailbox. It's in my opinion, personal opinion, that one of the employees there is a fucking bitch. Swear to God, trying to play all these fucking games with my mail and shit. And so what's happening? I'm absolutely halting their foolery. Absolutely. Now it's going to need to involve the owner And legalities. That's a federal crime. You're tampering with mail. That's a federal fucking crime. Okay? Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Important stuff is missing. That's a federal crime. Okay? So I'm taking away all of that ability to continue to derail, put me in a negative mindset, to, all of this like just nonsensical shit. I don't need to do any of that shit or deal with any of that shit. What I need to do is double down on what I'm doing. So, what am I doing right now? Something ridiculously profound. I have multiple projects already loaded in the pipeline. These things are coming to fruition. I'm doubling down. How do I know I need to double down? Because of all the nonsensical attempts to upset me, distract, derail. No, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Stay focused. What do you need to do? Do you have a project that you've already started working on? If you have all of these ideas that are needing to be worked on, you need to do it before I think is the 25th. I think it's the 25th because that's when the Mercury goes drunk and starts shit. Mercury goes retrograde. Okay. We're going to have a Mercury retrograde. Um, and it's just one of those things where get started already, right? Solidify some of these ideas, and then you're going to have a rest period during that Mercury retrograde. The only things that you should be working on during the Mercury retrograde are the things you really want closure on, because that's the stuff that's going to fail. That's the stuff that's going to get all discombobulated and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just know you need to start focusing on something ridiculously profound. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Something's trying to gain access through vulnerability. You're experiencing some degree of vulnerability. And part of the other cards that came forward, this one, hold on, let me find it. This right here, right? Imagination. Remember, something is trying to get all up in your head and get you into a gaslighty type space. This vulnerability, do not allow this to be utilized. Vulnerability is not evidence of weakness. Vulnerability is evidence of a heightened space of awareness you've just entered into. That's powerful. That is very powerful. You need to begin utilizing all of these different opportunities that your soul is giving you. Okay. If you don't know how to kind of like seal off your space, if you don't know how to, um, if you feel like you don't have it in you to kind of withdraw your energy, withdraw the access, at the very least energetically, I would recommend you go to the Baneful Protection miscellaneous workshop items. I'm not going to be doing a Baneful Protection workshop again. That was a one and done. I loved it, but it's a one and done. I'm not going to be doing that or offering that again. Um, I would highly recommend the Circle Caster and the Altar Mat set. That's what I would highly recommend. Yeah, I would highly recommend that because that would give you a very solidified um, thing you can do. It's very easy to do it. Very, very, very easy to do it. So, the vulnerability, right? I also am getting a secondary message that someone is feeling extremely vulnerable about you. You are their vulnerability. Oh, are you their kryptonite? I love that. I love being people's kryptonite. I'm not a lot of people's kryptonite. I'm my husband's kryptonite. I love it. I love that he gets weak with me. I do. I do. Right? I do. I love that. Um, I had a question about the baneful. I might had made a mistake. You emailed me. Oh, you know what? My husband told me you emailed me. I'll be getting back to you today. Lucky Rose, I'll get back to you today. Will you be offering payment plans on Circle Casters? My husband, I believe, emailed you. Don't quote me on that. We were talking about it, I think, yesterday. Yesterday. So he should be getting back to you today, Charlie. Yes. So someone, I don't think this is really a bad thing. I think someone is feeling extremely vulnerable over you. Something about your resonance is, hmm, it's almost this feeling like something about your resonance is, it's like it's reverberating with them. They're very drawn to you right now. They're very, very drawn to you. It's Is this why you're here, Marlene? Girl. Carrying on, carrying on. Card number 29, harmonic flight. So Michael goes, your face, your face. Nothing's wrong with my face. Everyone knows I'm fucking intense and goofy all at the same time. My people are aware. He told me to moisturize my lips. Okay. I'm going to behave. I'm going to behave. I'm going to behave. Okay, so the vulnerability. This is you're drawing someone to you. They're being pulled in by your energy. You're not intending to pull them in, but they're being pulled in by your energy. You are going through exponential growth. Like exponential. You are entering into spaces within yourself that you have not yet traveled through. These are spaces of tremendous power and influence over your own life. So, what needs to happen? Mm. Okay, let me just, just, okay. Let me embrace my, let me embrace my magical ethereal aspects. Just look at my ears are so fucking big. It's sexy. It's cute. It's so I can better hear the people talking shit. Why would I need to better hear people talking shit? So I can better double down on not giving a fuck. Okay, here's the problem. Your heart chakra, it's closed. It's been closed to whatever this is. It's a process that you need to go through. So I'm assuming this is a person whose mirror, who is your mirror. They're mirroring you. You're both mirroring each other's processes, right? So, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Look at this. Mm-hmm. So you guys are having some type of resonance. Both of you, ooh, from the oceans. Okay, this is past life referencing that's happening. This is past life referencing. Notice how both have the triangles. Typically, and I don't usually use this deck, but typically for me, part of what soul shows me when someone is going to be going through a very accelerated, like light code transmission um, integration, it's usually spheres, like little circles, right? Little circles. And now looking at this, the circles have become triangles, triangular shapes. You see all those triangles? These are deliveries, delivery system. It's a concentrator. There's a concentration of energy. It's being intentionally instructed to integrate into specific portions of your morphogenetic template in order to push along a process that normally would take multiple lifetimes. It's being very much condensed and concentrated. Okay, hold on. I'm supposed to show you guys something. Let me just, I need one of my crystals. Um, all right. So once someone grabs that for me, um, I'll be able to show you guys what soul is showing and telling me. So there's a reverberation going on between you and another person, as above, so below. There's a convergence that's happening up above, and it's being directed down into the templates. Thank you, baby. Oh, thank you, baby. Let me use my sock to dust it off. I gotta dust it off. 1 second. I don't know where this accent came from. I don't. I have ADHD, so they randomly appear. Give me 1 second. Ooh. Okay. Okay, my dear. Okay. Oh, I feel it like really cranking up in energy. Like, calm down. Calm down, calm down. I'm going to show you to our new friends. Calm down. Calm down. Okay. Um, oh my God. That's what happens. This is what happens. Okay. So see this. You see that? Oh my God. Oh my God. So what's happening is this. I'm going to show you guys some processes, okay? All right. So there's light code coming in, right? This light code is coming in. And then there are transmissions from soul coming from the top. And you are placed right here in between the two. There's a concentration of that energy coming through. And if you see this, you see all those little lines that it has, like little etch marks? Those are all light codes. So it's coming through and it's coming in hot. It's coming like this. And once they converge at this space right here, this is where you are. It's going to converge as above, so below. This is concentrating from the planetary template. Do you see how the base is flat? It's pulling it in, it's concentrating it from all sides up to this point. This right above this point is where your consciousness is situated. Once all of that happens, it's going to be a case of hippie-ki-yay, motherfucker. That's what's going to happen. So, look at this. Where is it? Here. You would think this is a single terminated. This is single terminated because it's a natural. The base is a raw stone, right? The base is a raw stone. This is single terminated. What's happening is double terminated. You look at the bottom, there's also a point at the bottom. So as above, so below. There's a mirroring that's happening. And as this mirroring happens, this convergence that's about to take place, consciousness is about to converge. You, another person. Now, be careful about thinking that this is um, an indication that, you know, you're supposed to enter into some romantic union. Um, no, it has nothing to do with romance. So it's like, so this is you at the center. This is you at the center, right? You have this because you're multifaceted. You have this at the center. This is you. You're kind of just spinning there, spinning, 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 spinning. This is, you know, representative of your Merkaba. Now, when all of this occurs and the thing on top starts to focus it down, you know what happens? Your third eye opens. 1 second. You see that? You then have the ability to begin seeing into the eternity of the cosmos. For those who are calibrated to this, instant manifestation. It's a power transfer like we have never seen. This type of power transfer existed, happened before humans were created. It is a power transfer on so many different layers and levels of existence. Hence the reason why some of the first messages that came through for this particular reading, this particular conversation, it's all about protecting yourself, creating boundaries for yourself, and not allowing anything through. Allowing yourself to really just have no shame, no guilt, and no hesitation for your needs. And when I say that, there's nothing in there that's encouraging you to take advantage of others, to deceive others, to use others, to stomp on other people to put yourself into a higher space. There's nothing in there that's instructing you to do that. This is about prioritizing yourself for the first time in your life. You need to prioritize yourself for the first time in your life. Manifestia. You're bringing into full fruition whatever it is you're hyperfixated on. So, if you're in a space of not being intentional yet with your energy, what happens? Most likely, you're still existing in some degree, some capacity in a space of fear. So, because we're entering into a space of accelerated manifestation, accelerated frequency accretion, you're going to create a lot of like unnecessary struggles for yourself. You got to believe in yourself. You have to value yourself at this point. No one can do this for you. There is no service that will make this easier for you. There are expedites that I have available today that will help to bolster your efforts. Yes. But if you think anything that anyone is offering, or if someone is telling you that they can make this process easier, they're fucking lying to you. They're lying to you. They want to be paid for something. So it's up to you. Okay. It's up to you. There's a lot of manifestation being loaded. A lot, a lot, a lot. The way you see yourself, the way you see the world, the way you function within this world, it's trying to be shifted. Remember, I received a transmission, I don't know how many months ago, that the sixth harmonic universe has been opened up. We have currently existed, or not currently anymore. We had previously existed up until I got that transmission in a 5 harmonic universe time space matrix. That's the organization of this stair step creation. 5 harmonic universes, meaning there's only 15 dimensions. The sixth harmonic universe was opened up. What does that mean? That means we now have 18 dimensions. that means you now have access to an even higher version of your higher self. You know, you have more than one higher self, right? You have more than one. Each of your higher selves is anchored in a harmonic universe. If you can allow yourself to let go of your death grip on the life you currently have, it's going to take a lot of faith in yourself. It's going to take a lot of faith in yourself. If you can allow that to happen, if you can retrieve some courage from deep within you, man, the potentialities that are being loaded for each of us, it's beyond profound. It's beyond profound. You're entering into a supra consciousness level. You're entering into spaces of full blown gnosis. That means you're entering into a knowing. You just know. You no longer have to exist in a space of waiting and hoping for something outside of yourself to step in on your behalf. That gets rid of the hope and the faith aspect, because now you are aware you can fully create. You can begin creating circumstance, opportunities, resolution to things that have been very, very difficult for you for quite a long time. It's up to you, though. What you're going to do with this is completely up to you. Oh, can I say that? Can I talk about that? Oh, they're babies. Okay, hold up. A lot of different types of consciousness are being greenlit to begin entering. Oh, I'm getting cold AF. Hold up. Starting to get cold. This message. Lord. Good Lord. Ooh, confirmation. Can I tell them the like totality of this message? All right. You guys ready? First, let's breathe. My heart's pounding. Okay. We can expect to see quite a bit of different types of anomalies occurring within the oceans. Some of the stuff has already begun, some of it. Other stuff has kind of, you know, it's gone under the radar for some time now. It's okay. It's okay. But here's the thing, part of what we're experiencing is not just a transfer of power, a transfer of monetary wealth, right? Part of what we're experiencing, part of what we're being asked to bear witness to is the returning of certain types of things. And these certain types of things are very, very old things, mythical things. I was told the other day, so Leviathan is not the name of a being. It's not. Leviathan is a species. It's a species. I was told the other day they had babies. They released their babies, their children, into the water. These are extremely high frequency beings. Very high frequency beings. Their presence, the reason the children, the babies, were allowed to escape, to be released into the water, is that most of our rain, it's a cycle that occurs. Evaporation from the oceans, from dry water, dry from land, all of that evaporates, it goes into the sky, and then condensation falls, right? So If they go ahead and they release their babies, which they have, what ends up happening is they begin to emit quite a bit, right? They begin to emit quite a bit of frequency, of codes that gets programmed into the water that then goes up and becomes the condensation that comes back down. Information is being returned to the land. So as that information is returned to the land, we inhale that water as it rains. It leads to certain type of morphogenetic scalar wave, standing scalar wave repatterning. The original blueprints are being restored for certain people. These are not chosen. There's no chosen group. Those, I was gonna start shit if I say that. Michael says, say it anyways. Okay. That teaching of identifying as a chosen, that's part of Baal worship. That's a demonic. Okay. So people are free to do and identify however they want, but that's what that is. There's no chosen. There are those who are here to assist, to facilitate, and they're going to be receiving the opportunity to level up with how many strands of DNA can be activated. Depending on your degree of resonance, your current placement of like anchoring within the time space matrix that we're in, some really interesting things can begin to occur. Depending on how many strands of DNA you're now being given to have the capacity to activate, the different potentialities for how that expresses within your morphogenetic template, and then eventually within your in real life experiences, that's a really powerful thing. It's a really good thing. I'm assuming yeah. Yeah. There's going to be an attempt for a grab for all of this. The jellyfish is indicative of this safety measure that's in place. It's going to sting. It's absolutely going to sting those who are trying for a mad dash grab for this. Fallen angelics and those who come from their lineages, those who serve as carriers for fallen ones. That's all I can say. That is, they won't be allowed to halt this progression. They won't be allowed. Mm-mm. It stems from, now I understand, it stems from a bonded soul pair. It's a soul pair who have been bonded and have remained bonded through all of time. They're a bonded pair straight from Pleroma. Hence the crystal. The crystal. These are the reverberations of the two. They're in a space of being cleared for convergence. They need to be within proximity so the vibration between the two, the resonance, can come into a fullness. When it comes into a fullness, it enters into a state of densified pleroma. Hmm. Hmm. So a lot of crown chakra opening, right? The unlimited self, a lot of opening up, a lot of allowing, only good potentialities, because we've already allowed enough of the negative, enough of the dense. We've allowed enough that has led to the suffering and the struggle and the exponential amplification of pain has been unnecessary. There's a certain degree of pain that's absolutely necessary in order to trigger specific processes. It's like a growing pain. But the degree of pain that we've suffered as a human race has been absolutely obnoxious. It's just been ridiculously obnoxious, and that's being corrected. I need to reiterate, we're not being saved from anything. These are choices that we're making that are creating different potentiality. There is a nexus point that is approaching. A nexus point is approaching. And that nexus point is something that really, really, really you need to make sure you choose a potentiality that continues to amplify and expand the spiraling of your journey rather than causing you to devolve and contract further into an even more pronounced densification. A lot of the things that we're taught, a lot of the things that we are taught are things that are convoluted in nature. It's intended to cause you to hold strongly to the things that you think are truth, when in actuality, it's a half lie at best. The problem with a half lie is the potency of the delivery. It has just enough truth that it's believable, but enough lie to make it something extremely insidious, right? Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Mhm. Mhm. Give me 1 second, guys. To get by, I like sweet morning dew. I took one look at you. It was plain to see you are my destiny. With you I spend my time. I dedicate my life. Sacrifice for you. Dedicate my life to you. All right. Transformation. So there's a transformation that's taking place. This transformation is going to be a reverberation of the different species that were once present, and they have long since evacuated this time space matrix because of the fact that there were wars and conflict and all kind of different things that they just really did not need to be involved in, right? They haven't wanted to be part of the different mechanics that have been running. It's Atlantean mechanics that have been running, and those processes are all about ego. It's all about domination, competition, comparison, all of that. So they haven't been wanting to be present. Now, because of all of the things that are happening and the opening up of that sixth harmonic universe, um, the opening up of different potentialities and pathways, again, there's a nexus point. It's a space that we are being allowed to commandeer this out of control celestial vehicle that we call life and turn it into a different direction. What direction is up to us? Now, also, what's happened are these host species that, again, they left a long time ago because they didn't want to be involved in these types of conflict. They're slowly coming back. They're allowing our progression to continue without their interference. They're not here to save us. They're not here to interfere, but they're here in just absolute wonder at what we will choose to do now that we're being given the keys and the steering wheel, right? The portal keeper. So there's one who's been really It's really been desperate to try and create a portal, an entry point for, they're trying to bring in enough of a specific type of frequency patterning that our progression can once again be clamped down. They want to put us in a space of phase locking, would be the best way to put it. They want to prevent us from reaching a certain point as a collective whole. They want us to not reach a certain point of awareness. And we're approaching critical mass. We're approaching critical mass. We've been anchored in 6D for quite some time now. We were anchored in 5D back in 2016, end of 2016, early 2017. And then between then and now, we got anchored in 6D frequencies, 6D dimensional consciousness. Not everyone, but a critical mass portion. Now, there's a major influx of extremely high level consciousness. It's all the COVID babies. I love them. All the COVID babies, they're extremely high frequency. And so what has happened? First, harmonic universe 6 was opened up. Second, for pretty much everyone else, you're being given the opportunity to decide through your actions, through your thought processes, whether you're going to accept the opportunity to go ahead and activate more strands of DNA. So, really good things, right? Except there's this being, I will call it a being. It's been trying really hard to initiate another coup d'etat. It's going and trying to grab for power. It needs us to stay below a certain dimensional level of consciousness, or else we become aware in all the games that it's played, all the manipulations, all the involvement of other consciousness, other beings, fallen ones, and all kind of different things. It comes to full light. Once that comes to full light, most likely we won't be able to continue because it will interfere. Once it comes to full light, we won't allow it, and then it will really wild out. It's kind of already wilding out, to be honest. It's already been in a space of freaking out because it knows, it's aware, it's losing its power. It is absolutely losing its power. So I'm going to pick two cards, card 1 and card 2. You decide which one you're drawn to. You go ahead and decide which one you're drawn to, okay? So, and you can pick both if you want. The Matrix was actually written as a form of disclosure. Disclosure in order to create an opportunity, a manufactured opportunity for predictive programming to take place. Yeah. So while I'm getting these cards ready, quick reminder, I'll be going live later this evening for the 11/11 portal fire ceremony. If you'd like me to do some work for you, reading, scan, energy work, advanced activations, you just click on that link right there. It's a lot of frequency, a lot. Okay. So we're going to start with 2 first. Okay. Alrighty. Excuse me. All right. So we're going to start with 2 first. So for those of you who chose 2, ooh, Shodashi. Okay, girl. Okay, girl. Here goes. Shodashi. Oops. Let me switch hands. Ruby red with the divine juice of life, she nourishes the body, mind, and soul with vitalizing pleasure, life, and joyfulness. Goddess Shodashi restores self esteem and an awareness of your innate value, especially after a time of painful rejection or disappointment. Through her blessings, the desires of the heart can find fulfillment in new ways. She brings divine energy for the manifestation of wishes. Her presence is an indication of inner power to restore yourself and attract what you need into your life. Shodashi is a fertile and creative aspect of Lalita Tripura Sundari. Red colored skin and vibrant with feminine life force, she is a power to actualize desires. In color healing from Hinduism and Buddhism, red is medicine for attraction and magnetism. The appearance of Shodashi in a reading indicates a time when your ability to attract what you want is heightened, drawing all you desire into the world. Oh, you can be relaxed and trusting in your capacity for magnetically drawing all you desire into your world. So, this is letting you know that you're going to be the one to make things happen. So, stop thinking about what you don't want. Focus on what you do want. What do you want for yourself? What type of opportunities? What type of circumstance? What type of people? What do you want for yourself? Right? What do you want? In the tantric teachings of Kali Ma, desire is not something to be afraid of, but something that can become part of your spiritual path. The benefits of developing the character traits required for manifesting desire, such as relaxation, trust, enjoyment, delight, and bliss, as well as discipline, commitment, determination, focus, and a positive attitude, encourage us onward so we don't give up before attaining success. I think for many of us, part of the reason why we haven't been able to manifest the things that we want is because right at the 11th hour, you're like, oh, it's not working. And then you pull all your energy back. Stop doing that. See it all the way through. See it all the way through. You'll see amazing things happen for yourself. Do you guys remember when I shared a picture of a slot machine? You guys remember that? And everything was lined up right above the pay line. So I didn't win because at the last minute, I pulled my energy back. I would have won several thousands of dollars. I pulled my energy back. You have to stop doubting, questioning whether you're worthy of what it is you're about to have. You have to stop. Stop pulling away from what's being given to you. From our successes, we will come to realize that within one desire lies the seed of another. Eventually, the nature of desire is realized as a pathway rather than about the thing sought. The desire nature can motivate us to attain breakthroughs for the spiritual benefit of all beings. Shadashi teaches that desire can help us live from the heart, honoring what truly lights up our being and being motivated by our passions. This can be beneficial for the spiritual path rather than a distraction from it. Her heart is compassionate and her spirit, despite her youth, is truly great. Shadashi encourages young people with big dreams to believe in their abilities and trust their hearts. Ooh, I got a notification. It says you may be owed back pay. You might be missing out on money owed to you. Ooh, but you may not know how it works. Y'all need to stop. Stop pulling your energy back. Stop halting the arrival of the very thing you've been waiting for your entire life. It's not always about money. It's not. It doesn't have to always be about money. Sometimes what you need that money for is to give you the time, the space, and the opportunity to begin focusing on other things rather than being stuck in a space of nothing but surviving. How will I pay for this until the next paycheck? How will I eat until the next paycheck? How will I pay for things that my next paycheck won't even cover? It's not about material things, it's about allowing yourself to have the opportunity to finally begin cultivating the gifts that already live inside you. Sometimes you need money to do that, not because you're going to buy things. Sometimes it has more to do with the fact that now, because you have some financial stability, um, you can start kind of relaxing a little bit and focusing on the ways in which you need to heal, the ways in which you need to do this or that for yourself, so you can fall into better alignment with the kind of life your soul actually had planned for you. Money is not going to solve everything. It's not. But you guys have to understand, we exist in a system that you have to pay to exist in. So what needs to happen? You need to trust your soul, because your soul will give you what you need. Sometimes it's a large sum. Sometimes it's just enough for the week. You need to trust your soul. Why? Because it wants to give you the opportunity to actually begin healing and cultivating the gifts that live inside you already. You need to. You need to. And I want you to think about this. For those of us who struggle so bad when it comes to allowing ourselves to have money, I hope you hear me down to your heart's core. You are someone who gives even when you don't have. What do you think you'll do with money once you have it? You're suddenly going to be selfish? It's going to make you greedy? I'm sorry, but you're already who you are. You've been who you are since you were 5 years old. And everything that's happened in life has further solidified who you are. Between 5 years old and now, you have had all kind of things happen to you and for you to solidify your character. Babe, you know you're not shady. Start knowing who you are. You allow that money in, I wouldn't be surprised if you give it all away before the day is done. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised. So many of you in our community, even when you have nothing to give, you still give. This is why I really hesitate to ask you guys for anything. It's only when it's something like I can't personally do, and it's something serious, something very necessary, that I bring it to the community, because I already know, even if you guys have nothing, you still will try and find a way to give. Allow that energy to circle back. Maybe that's your blockage. And it's not about when you give to someone, you have to expect it back from them. They need to pay you back. It's about recognizing when you give to someone, that's energy. And that energy is trying to find its way back to you, so no voids exist within you. And if that person you gave to does not have the capacity to give back, that's okay. It will find another way. It will find another person. You were never asked to be in a state of depletion. You were never asked to suffer to prove that you are a good person. And these people that try and encourage you to suffer so they can benefit from your suffering, You know, for several years, I chose to be homeless. I'm not ashamed of it. This is the most beautiful period of my life, the most beautiful period of my family's life. I didn't tell anyone what was happening. I was earning. I was earning. With my skill set, I have the capacity to earn. And I was earning. And you know what I was doing? I was giving it all away. As soon as it came in, it was given away to the community. It was given away. I wasn't a nonprofit. I was incurring tax liability for those earnings. I was giving it all away. And here's the crazy part. When it became clear that I was in the situation that I was in, living in a broken RV, how many of those people that repeatedly benefited from my generosity, how many offered to help me? How many of those people that claimed to love me because I was giving shit away like crazy? This is what I was known for on Facebook. You need something? Go contact Emmy. She'll give it to you. Don't even matter if it's true or not. How many of those people reached out to make sure that my children were fed? That our RV, which was broken, wasn't leaking anymore? That we had running water again? That we had a generator? That our toilet was fixed? That we had a fridge? None of those people. Am I pissed off? No. I started that. I initiated that. I chose that for myself because I believed in the lie that to prove to these people that I'm a good person, I had to give everything away and be destitute. I believed it wholeheartedly, that I was not allowed to keep anything. I would keep just enough for gas and groceries to go from parking lot to parking lot. Where are those people now that benefited the most heavily from my insecurities? They're off benefiting from someone else. Why? Because they saw the gravy train was done and I was not doing that anymore. Does that mean I don't help anyone? No, I absolutely still help people. But now it's when my soul tells me to. So you need to allow yourself to go through whatever process you need to go through. For some of us, we need to grieve the loss of our sense of self. That's why you are doing what you're doing. You've lost sense of who you are, and you're trying to buy approval from others by putting yourself in detriment. Please stop hurting in that way. You don't have to do that. The people who are willing to see the truth of your beauty, your kindness, your compassion, they never needed anything from you but to be allowed to see the real you. I had to learn that the hard way. I had to learn that the hard way. Now, I invite you to learn that the easier way. But if you too must learn it the hard way, I trust you're strong enough. You will get through it. You will get through it. I trust your choice for yourself. No, it will hurt. It will destroy the way you see yourself. And maybe that's why you choose it. So that you can finally destroy this lie that that you're using as a lens to view yourself and your life. You get through whatever process you get yourself into. You will get through it, okay? Her heart is compassionate and her spirit, despite her youth, is truly great. Shadashi encourages young people with big dreams to believe in their abilities and trust their hearts. She also reminds us that age is not necessarily a signifier of wisdom, nor is youthfulness necessarily an indication of a lack thereof. Shadashi encourages us to discern qualities at a deeper level rather than to make assumptions based on age or appearance. Don't take things at face value or go by someone's words. Look instead at their actions, at what your experience has been, and allow for understanding as to how to proceed to arise from there. The fulfillment of the heart's desire can be attained in ways other than what the mind prescribes. The mind was created to help process what you need to survive through. The heart is a megaphone of the soul. Can you simply live from the heart? No, because this world requires you to have some degree of survival instinct. So, what needs to happen? You need to be centered between the mind and the heart so that your intuition can be properly interpreted by the mind, and the thoughts that are produced from the mind can be properly tempered by the heart. Balance is a byproduct of centeredness. You see, that's one of the lies we were all taught, that you should focus on balance. You have to balance. You have to be balanced, balance, balance, balance. If that is your focus, you will forever fight to remain balanced. So much energy, so much focus, so much time, right? Compensating, overcompensating, compensating, overcompensating. You will never be solidified within yourself. You will always wobble. You will always have fear. So, what's the solution? Centeredness. You have to experience the extremes of both polarities to begin the process of knowing where center is. You find where center is, you stay there, everything you do will have balance. It's a byproduct. You don't even have to try anymore. It's like when you're first learning to ride the bike, you're all wobbly, you're trying to correct all the wobbles, right? But when you find your center of gravity, that's natural. People get so comfortable after that, that for some, you can even ride your bike with no hands. Find your center. The reason you swing from one end to the other, really good, really bad, is to give you an idea of where the center is. It's not because you're being punished or you're failing. It's not because you're fucking up. It's because you're learning to map your journey within yourself. The fulfillment of the heart's desire can be attained in ways other than what the mind prescribes. Shadashi encourages us to stay open even if certain plans have failed to yield what we had hoped. This is an indication that the universe has other ways for us to fulfill our heart's yearning that are likely to be far more beneficial and richer. These opportunities you think you lost, you're like, oh, I missed on that opportunity and this opportunity, and you placed a bet, and that restarted everything. You invested more. Let it come to full fruition at this point. If you chose number 2, your soul is giving you very specific instruction. Very specific instruction. The time for you to really just embrace your journey, it's here. It's already here. Ooh, for those who chose 1. Let's see. All right. Here goes. Mother Fierce. Mother Fierce is your guardian. Nothing can penetrate the passionate fire of her fearless love. Your safety is assured, beloved. In the midst of any apparent challenge or threat, no matter how frightening it may seem, and no matter how insecure you might feel about taking a step on your spiritual path into more power, know that you are safe. You are protected. You are loved. Beloved, you have been growing spiritually, and sometimes this evokes responses from others. The response may be loving and affirming, encouraging and validating. Many will choose to be inspired by your growth. Sometimes, however, lower vibrational responses will arise, which might be fearful, insecure, jealous, or angry. These responses arise so they can be healed. The healing for you is in how you choose to allow yourself to shine and not be diminished by the healing process of another. For the other, their healing is their journey and you've offered them a great service. Know that you do not need to be afraid, nor do you need to hold yourself back out of fear, putting yourself in a space of detriment in order to reassure someone who's grown far too comfortable being insecure within themselves. That's not going to lead to anything for either of you. It keeps you trapped in a cycle that they control. Would you follow after someone that's a drunk driver? Would you keep pace with a drunk driver? I used to pick up my mom from work. Um, we lived about 40 minutes from her hospital. And the hospital that she worked at was a trauma center in Oakland, California. So I would need to drive through, the hood and everything. I grew up in the hood. At one point, we lived in the hood. There's nothing wrong with the hood. But on a Friday night, around 2 a.m. in the morning, 1 a.m. No, it was around 1 a.m. 1 a.m. in the morning, there's a lot of people that are probably intoxicated. Are they all driving? No. But that night, we were driving on the freeway and there was a person who was intoxicated and the rain was coming down hard. So I was in the far left lane and this person who's intoxicated was in the lane to the right of me. I could tell by the way they were driving that they were absolutely intoxicated. Absolutely intoxicated. So, what my soul told me to do is allow them to pass. I slowed down so that they could just keep going. When I slowed down because they were so intoxicated, they couldn't tell how fast they were driving, they slowed down as well. When they slowed down, I slowed down more because keep going, sir. Pass me. Go ahead. Pass me. If you pass me, I can get out of the fast lane and you can go into the fast lane. They slowed down as well. We kept doing this on the freeway until I was going about 30 something miles an hour. My mom kept telling me, just go faster. Our car is faster than theirs. If I go faster, they'll go faster. And if we're both going faster and they wobble, everyone dies. This is what my soul told me. 1 in the morning, raining real hard, near zero visibility. You want me to go 80 miles an hour so this person who is pacing us will also go 80 miles an hour. No, ma'am. I will not. I will not. So, what did I do? Sometimes you have to enter into a fierce matriarchal positioning. Although my mother was in the car and technically she's a mother, I have very heavy matriarchal energy. So, what did I do? We're going 30 miles an hour on the freeway. I swerved one time. I had sports camber. Don't worry. Don't worry. I was not going to lose control of the vehicle at 30 miles an hour. I swerved just a little bit. Didn't even exit my lane. And you know what that did? Freak them the fuck out. They thought I was drunk and they sped ahead. They were going really fast. I didn't see them after a little bit. I didn't see them anymore. But several miles down the road, there was a car crash. I'm not going to be in that. You got to listen to your soul. You have to. Sometimes you need to make decisions that don't make sense. The options that you're being led by soul to choose might not make sense. No, it's to protect you. It is to protect you. It is to prevent access to you in a way that's harmful, destructive, whatever it is. Do you need to know before you comply? Years later, same freeway. This time it's daytime. I just brought my kid to his class and I was heading over to my chiropractor. I get off the off ramp, and this is a place where a lot of cars back up. You can kind of ride the shoulder if you're going to make a right turn. You could ride that shoulder and make a right turn. For some reason that day, I sat where I was instead of riding the shoulder. I missed the light. I was already running late. I missed the light. Right as and usually, because I'm originally from California, usually yellow means go faster. If y'all are not from California, you don't know this. In California, yellow means go faster. Ask anyone from California. Yellow means go faster so that you beat the red. That day, it barely turned yellow. I still could have turned, and I was like, no, I'll just stop. Already running late, something told me to stop. And as soon as my vehicle came to a complete stop and the light barely turned red, there was another vehicle coming from the driver's side, maybe 70 miles per hour. Yep. That would have T-boned my door. 70 miles per hour, I probably would have died. They were going so fast, all of the vehicles, it was like 3 lanes. All of our vehicles were like rocking this way. It was, all of us were like, whoa, in our cars. We're looking at each other like, what the hell? Yeah. And it was an older vehicle, something, I don't remember exactly, but something similar to a Chevelle. I was in the hood. So something similar to a Chevelle. That's pure steel. I literally would have died. Let your intuition protect you. Be fierce in your declaration of your trust in yourself. No one else. No one else. You don't even have to trust me. I mean, what have I actually done to earn your trust? Right? Trust yourself. There is nothing that escapes the notice of beloved Mother Kuan Yin as a divine mother of fierce compassion and protection. She sees all, knows all, she blesses all. She can lift you beyond fear and threat into a place of unity with divine love that secures you against any would-be threat and delivers you into peace. For you to benefit the most from her protection, you need to trust in her light and realize that she is shining through your own inner light, that she and you are one in truth. From this perspective, you can realize that you always have the right to say no to any energy of fear or doubt that seeks to cause you harm. Harm comes from a lower vibration. It does not need to be feared, but it does need to be responded to with assertiveness and compassion. Kuan Yin now helps you retain your inner peace in the face of any lower vibrational energy so that you can be kind and accepting of the divine essence in all of existence, no matter how heavily veiled the divinity appears to be, and yet also remain assertive that only unconditionally loving vibrations are welcome in your energy field. You are in full control. You have the protection to make the decisions that will prevent you from experiencing things that are unnecessary for you. Notice the way I worded this. You will experience everything that is necessary to be experienced, but you don't have to experience things that are unnecessary. You don't have to hurt and be inconvenienced in ways that are not adding to your growth. It's merely adding to your frustration. Allow your life to unfold in the way it is meant to unfold. Allow it to go at the rate of development and progression that your soul has determined is right for you. Remember, all vehicles are made differently, right? All vehicles are made differently. So when I was like 16, my father had me driving a specific car. And the specific car, it was used. Don't worry, it's not brand new. Should not have been driven by a 16-year-old. It shouldn't have. This specific vehicle, it was a 560 SL, and it had sports camber. So when you're throwing that vehicle around, it's made of pure steel. It's made of pure steel. So when you take a turn, because of the weight of the vehicle and because of the sports handling, it automatically will camber. The wheels will kind of just, and the vehicle kind of sits a little bit lower for a moment. And that gives it a lower center of gravity and it can hug a turn, right? My dumb 16-year-old ass. It was a T street and I was going this way. So it's a dead end. You either have to turn left or right. And it's a major intersection. I did not want to sit there at a red light. It was yellow. So I gunned it. I took that 90-degree turn at like 60 or 70 miles per hour because fucking stupid 16-year-old is what I was. And that car hugged the road. There was no nothing, just turned, kept right on going. A couple of years later, my parents got me a brand new Civic EX, right? It was stick shift. It was fun. I loved it. No sports anything. No way in hell I can take that kind of turn. No way in hell. I'll roll the car. I will roll that car. All of us are made different with different capacity, different capability. Know when you can take the turn and know when you need to slow down. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done that when I was 16. I tell you that right now. That was the dumbest thing to ever do. But I drove that car all the time. Not trying to justify. I'm just explaining my logic. I drove that car all the time and I knew what it could handle. I knew it could handle that. I knew. Know yourself to the degree that you know what you can handle. And if you truly can't handle something, maybe a slight adjustment. I learned my Civic EX after I drove it for some time. How would I have handled that? I don't have that type of automatic cambering in a Civic. No, babe. What would I have done? I would have fucking downshifted. I would have downshifted to third, let the wheels grab, slow me the fuck down, but I can make that turn safely. Know how to handle your life, yourself. You learn how to do these things. There's no circumstance that you cannot very powerfully maneuver through. But you got to know yourself and how you handle through any type of circumstance and terrain. You have to know these things. Yep, you have to. Any doubt? I got into an accident one time. Why? Because I was still new to driving stick and I was in bumper to bumper traffic and it was go and it was stop and it was go and it was stop. And the lady in front of me, she slammed on her brakes. Granted, I was following a little too close. I slammed on my brakes. I didn't hit her, but I didn't punch the clutch. So what happens? Well, I was in second gear and I slammed on my brakes, stopped in time, but it caused my vehicle to stall. That lurch forward because I stalled, tapped her bumper. Fucking car accident. Small, but I didn't know how to handle my vehicle. I learned real quick after that. Sometimes we have to have that little love tap in order to understand how to handle circumstance. It doesn't matter if you change vehicles in your life. It doesn't matter. I've learned how to drive all sorts of different vehicles and handle it in such a way that I'm always safe. You go by feel often. And if you allow yourself to truly feel when you are entering into a dangerous space of imbalance, you can avoid a lot. You can avoid a lot. One time I was driving my parents' Suburban. It was years ago, more than 20 years ago. Many, many, many years ago, almost 30 years ago. I was driving their Suburban and person wouldn't let me in. I was on the freeway. I was going to miss the exit. So I cut them off. And then I had to take a turn that's supposed to be 25. I had to take it at like 50 or 60 miles per hour. I had to turn. So what happened? I didn't know it at the time. I popped the Suburban on 2 wheels. We were slanted like this on 2 wheels. I must have been like 18 or 19. If I freaked out in that moment and slammed on my brakes, I would have rolled that car. I didn't freak out. Took my foot off the gas, did not press on the brakes at all. I held it steady. Slight turn. Dropped the car back on all 4 wheels. And my mom looked at me like, the fuck are you doing? You're late for work. I didn't intend to do that. But because I already intimately knew that vehicle and I listened to my intuition, I was able to manage that safely. This crazy ass shit. I'm a little bit of I was a crazy driver. I was. No accidents, no rolls, no none of that. Okay? So learn yourself. Learn how to handle the things you're going to face. This is a massive opportunity for all of us. Whether you picked one or two, everyone is being presented this opportunity that has the capacity to completely change your life. Are you happy with your life? Can you feel the change coming? Is that scaring you? Trust your soul. It's not going to be all peaches and cream. It's never designed to be. But if you flow with what your soul is showing you and encouraging you to do, really powerful, beautiful opportunities can begin to present themselves. So I'm going to be live in a couple hours for the 11/11 portal fire ceremony. I hope you guys choose to join me. I'm going to be live here on YouTube, and then we're going to switch over to TikTok for expedites. If you'd like to get something for tonight, just click on this QR code or the link in the comment, and that will give you access to whatever it is that I have offered. Also, if you're looking for some really powerful protection tools to help you secure your space, to help you really like create a barrier that cannot be crossed, check out the Baneful Protection items. This is from my workshop. I don't have full kits. These are just some of the extra items that I have. They're limited quantity, just so you guys know. All right, I got to get going. I hope everyone has an amazing rest of your day, and I hope I see you later tonight. 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when I'll start.